Welcome to Warrior Class,
where the teachers whip ass.
And you will too if you pass.
All right, now this is the PsyOps episode. All right, psychological warfare,
Serious business.
and the reason why we need to get into this because we all are victims of it. All right, we have all probably used it at some point in our life. So
We were taught well.
We'll get into it after the news. Some people are more trained to use it than others, so they really use it. People have this belief that the trained ones, military psychologists or just psychologists, they turn it off when they go home. Bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
They use it on their families, friends, all of that. Okay.
Yeah,
So we're gonna get into it.
Welcome, new member.
First, I do it. That's why I'm laughing. It's not insomniac. Look at that again. Insomniac.
Insomniac. Oh shoot. Yo, why you trick me, B? You got me out here looking crazy out here in these streets.
I said, because first
what does that mean?
I was like, brother needs some sleep or something. Then I looked and said, wait a minute, that's insomniac. That's a nice.
You away from me. He said he set me up. He let me do it. He knew I was gonna mess it up.
Now, anybody would have messed that up because your mind is thinking.
Right.
And that's a pure example of a technique used in psychological warfare.
There you go. There you go.
Have you looking at something, thinking is it, and all you gotta do is just slow time down, and you'll realize. So,
Peace Eugene.
A quick thing on that, yeah, Peace Eugene. Quick thing on that, man. We do y'all both been to the USPI camp,
right?
Well, one year, one part that I did, now the camps, so everybody who's watching knows they're secretive. So I won't tell much, but one thing we did was an exercise where they had 2 minutes to perform a certain task that was simple. And they were panicking. All I had to do is say, you got a minute, 45 seconds. You got a minute, 30 seconds. Then I go, oh shit. You got a minute. They listen to the oh shit. Like, oh, we in trouble. So then they start panicking.
Yeah.
You got 45 seconds. And they are about 2 seconds away from solving the thing. But they're panicking so bad, they can't get the shit done. I said, 30 seconds. They're yelling. Now they're yelling at each other, yelling over each other. They got 15 seconds. Hey, so 10 seconds. And then I'm assuming said, look, we got this. Just calm down. And then they got out of it. They could have got out of that a minute before or more. So that's how psychological warfare works on you. It's just it can just be a little push, and then you do the rest of the work.
Yeah, little battery.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got to put a little battery in your back and watch it go. All right.
I was
Peace avenge the ancestors. Huh?
No, I was gonna let you get with the news. I was about to go over some things I was thinking about just on this topic that made me think different things throughout history and stuff like that. But we'll wait to get to the news and give everybody a chance to share the broadcast for us as I share the broadcast myself.
Smash that like button.
I'm gonna tell you,
Facebook and your Insta.
If you like me, yeah, exactly. If you like me, I'm not very savvy, even though y'all see me posting all the time because I run my mouth a lot. What you can do is hit the share, you get the copy button, and if you got like a chat of people like in your Instagram or in your Facebook, drop it in your chat, let folks know, in your group on Facebook, You might be in a group, Black Love Movement or something. I don't know, but
Mhm.
they need to know about it. You know what I'm saying? Drop it in there. Drop it in that chat, man.
What's the copy button?
Okay, so hold up. I'm gonna go through it. So boom, I hit the show. I go right here. I go to share, and then when I say when I hit share
what
on the Android phone, when I hit share,
I mean, it's on YouTube or Facebook.
This is on YouTube.
Uh,
When I hit the share button on YouTube from my phone, my menu pops up on my Android, and I got share. I got the copy link button, or I could just go straight to. I can go straight to Instagram chat, Facebook chat, news feed, WhatsApp, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I just copy the link, so I can pick and choose where I want to go at, and just paste the link in different places. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Like that. Text my brother, put it in one text there. Send one to OD, send another one in chat to a couple people I communicate with and stuff like that. You know, different people, different topics. Right. Everybody ain't into the same thing, so I don't always send the show to the same people at the same. I don't do like that guerrilla marketing type thing because I don't like that. So I don't send you nothing if I don't think you're interested in it, to be honest with you.
But so, this episode, make sure y'all send to everybody.
Right.
All so-called Negroes or whoever you are. Everybody can benefit from this. I know sometimes when we doing technique, I know some people I've learned, you know, some people just I know ain't paying me no attention. I ain't sending that to my mama. You see, she ain't watching no technique. But I could, bribe her. She'll watch me anyway because I'm her son. So I'm gonna send it to her too, real quick.
Somebody said, "Word in these fighting science gossip streets, folks been to see Belay rock live and can confirm that we can see that what we see here is legit. Belay is no joke for real." All right, now.
Who said that?
Peace, Dr. Jeroboam.
So
thank you, Mr. Ball.
You got the eye on you, Belay.
I appreciate that. We love to joke on the show, but we do not play. We are grown folks. So
I tell people I make games. I ain't playing them, mother. I ain't playing.
Yes, sir. It's a wonderful way to be. I'm sending my mama this link right now. Chief.
And if you love life, you should be willing whatever, and you love your loved ones, do whatever is necessary to protect them.
Right. That's why we should be training. That's why you should be coming to workshops. You should be trying to get workshops at your job, your fraternity, wherever you at your community center, wherever. You know,
training keeps good character. So there are people right now. I remember a brother who we know, him and Belay actually started training at the same time. They used to work together. And he said to me, everything falls down because me and Kalani formed USPI, which is the Urban Survival and Preparedness Institute, with the co-chairs of it. And so we was getting ready to start our first public meeting. And well, not really a public meeting, semi-public, I guess. It was, reaching out to all my students and a couple other people we knew. And the brother said to me, well, I don't have to do no training on survival because when everything goes down, I'm just going to hit Walmart, steal stuff from them, and hit, other people's houses.
That was my plan too. I was with him. We was together.
I know that.
Let's go take Walmart.
So when you're not trained to do a thing, it will lead to bad character. Because we're gonna do what we gotta do to survive. And so you can talk now. I would never kick in someone's door if you don't have survival supplies and your family is starving and you're starving. You will kick in doors and take shit.
Yeah,
so to avoid that, please get yourselves trained with somebody that knows survival for real. Not for real. Some people faking around and get you killed. Somebody said, "Well, how do you know to get you killed until it gets you killed?" That is the dumbest damn way of thinking.
Wow.
I don't know if they get me killed till they get me killed. If somebody's telling you, break into McDonald's with stuff fall down, just make you some burgers. This is skills.
Hold on. So I don't want to put you on the spot, Baba, but is there like 2 or 3 things that you could things that you could give us or something, or maybe send us somewhere? You may have a one of your books or something that could give us an idea of what would be something that we would look for in somebody that we want. We want to go, we want to train urban survival preparedness or something like that. What are we looking for? We ain't supposed to be. We weren't getting into this guy.
Well, you want to know, okay, and that's difficult because some people don't show what they do. So I show martial arts, but rarely do I show anything with survival online. Even in here, I'm careful what I show.
Maybe background then.
But you have a lot of people. So the easiest way is go to people who are respected shooters. I hate, because some of these folks, they're really not great shooters, but they're great at marketing themselves. But the one thing about them is they are in a circle of people, so they know. So look at who's following them, who they follow. And you'll say, okay, this person does outdoor survival. You got to do your research on it, right? And you look through their stuff, and you all can hit me up and ask me, is this person legit? Do they know what they're doing? Some people I've named on here before. That one is going to take research, and I'm willing to. You send me some folks, I'll look at them, and I can tell you if they know what they're doing. But a lot of these folks are not out here. You can go hit up hashtag Black Preppers, and you'll find people who are prepping. Some of them don't know what they're doing. One person I could say, but I don't know if he trains people. He does know what he's doing, is Demcad, DEMCAD.
Okay.
That brother knows what he's doing. You'll see him and you'll think, nah, because he's a chubby brother. But that ain't got nothing to do with his knowledge. And he just started taking classes and stuff, trained himself up a few years ago. And he got really serious. And so he knows what he's doing, share some stuff. But if you want somebody with expertise, I would say send that to me and I can tell you there are things that I can look for that's hard to just explain to you.
And again, we're talking other than Baba Balaguno Jatade, which is one of the premier, people in that field, just in case y'all do not know.
I'm all right.
He has I believe, real quick, you have a book called Urban Survival Preparedness, don't you?
I have many survival books. So,
well, of course, let me go.
African Warriors Bible.
At the ready.
Boom, you're out. This is a very good one.
The US,
I'm not on the cover.
Surviving the Urban Apocalypse.
Anytime I promote a book where I'm not on the cover, it's a really good book, because I don't like doing that. I don't personally. That's not something I do. So
the USPI Urban Self-Defense Manual, and no books, no photos in this at all. This is pure D teaching you stuff. This is our manual for USPI, but we made it public.
Yeah, matter of fact, I got to make sure I got mine. I think, didn't a child eat half of my book one time?
Yeah, she ate.
I got to make sure I got my book too. That's some personal stuff.
This is for children, the Young African Warriors Guide to Defending Bullies and Trolls.
You already know.
Corio, this is Protecting African Children from Violence and Sexual Abuse.
Oh, wait.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading a comment. I'm just strolling through. This ain't on there. So I post this post real quick to show the guy. Did you see the guy pull out the gun at the range and miss every shot?
No.
So I got this post where the guys at the range, his brothers at the range. Y'all can go to my page. It's on the Warriors class page too.
Mm-hmm.
He at the gun range, whip out the gun, pow, 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 pow. Miss every shot. And I put the caption.
Yeah, I did see that. Yes.
So I put the caption how blah blah blah. Folks always talking about they got that thing, blah 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 blah. It's way more than that, because we don't train under stress and duress with that. It's no good. This guy just commented,
And I want to go ahead.
This guy just took it way too far. The firearm is the weapon of a coward. Sad that we've developed from honored warriors need to get back to that.
Okay, so
I hope
a warrior.
He may be watching. If you're watching, brother, no disrespect to you. You may not understand what it's about. Survival is about, and what warrior actually means.
When he said warrior, okay, I've said many times we're too romantic. So he's judging warrior on what he's seen in movies, playing Dungeons and Dragons, some shit. Okay, now
another psyop reference, also.
Right. When we talk about warriors, we're dealing with Ogun, the god of iron and war, right? Ogun is also, he's not just the god of iron and war, he's also technology. Wars are won through psychological warfare, technology, and technique. Okay.
I'm messaging him the show right now.
And the way technique is taught is based on technology. So right now we're using technology.
Yes, sir.
20 years ago, we couldn't have done this. Warrior class couldn't exist as it exists now. Okay? So once the gun came into existence, which is not, it didn't start with the Arabs, as some people believe. It started with the Chinese. Okay.
The Africans invented the gun. No, I'm sorry. Okay.
The Africans invented everything. That's some bullshit too. Africans traditionally were brilliant, but we didn't make everything. That is ridiculous. And that's shit from the 80s mug saying that we just made everything. We made the pants. We made everything, you know. So we may have made pants. Pants been around a long time.
Wait, anyway.
So when the rifle was made in the early 1300s, which was just a tube that shot out shit. Okay, that's the first rifle. Now pulling the trigger and all that was created by Arabs. But once that was used, everybody who got an introduction to that began to use it because it was easier. You didn't have to. You still had to use two hands, but it was easier than pulling the bow and everything. And that iron ball hit harder, did more damage. But we should learn ancient weapons because, unlike the rifle, I could put up sandbags. You shoot a rifle, bullet's not going through the sandbags. I shoot an arrow, it's going through the sandbag and killing your ass.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're dealing with old technology, new technology, they're both valuable. We should learn them both because sometimes the new technology doesn't work under certain circumstances. Sometimes the old technology doesn't work. Once the pistol was created, that became more effective than the rifle. Why? Because I can load it quicker. I don't have to use two hands.
Where does honor come in this, Bible?
Honor comes in it when I honorably sit my ass down and do some work and make this tool. But honor doesn't even exist on the battlefield. What is that? I had a brother tell me, a martial artist, high-level martial artist. We had school together, as a matter of fact. Well, actually, we were paying rent to them to rent the space, and it wasn't their space. So when he was talking to me about honor, he said, the only thing about your martial art I don't like, y'all don't have no honor. Because y'all hit people, knee people, and stab folk.
What did his do?
Jiu-jitsu, so they just throw him up. So we had no honor. But they were having us pay them for space, and it wasn't their space, it was the park space. But you're going to talk to me about honor? So that's bullshit. It's all hypocritical, right? But not talking about that brother's a hypocrite. I don't know him. But what I do know is He's talking about shit he's seen. The samurai got honor and all this. Samurai committed all kinds of heinous shit like any other soldiers because they worked for the state.
But it looked honorable when I take my gloves and slap you 2 times and then
And that's ridiculous. You're right. Samurai were agents of the state. They were soldiers.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You know, so that honor jag, get out of here.
Greetings, I manifesto.
Soldiers don't deal with honor. Soldiers don't deal with honor.
40J Blaze.
They follow orders and they do whatever they told to do. We talk about knights. Knights supposed to have honor. Knights are elite soldiers. You think the Knights of the Round Table in England had goddamn honor? Please. Those were elite soldiers. They were better trained than folks. I was SF. You think those people had honor? Hell no. We were doing what we were told to do, and we did it well. And we were killing folk all around the planet. That is not honor. We did it because we were told to do it, and we were only making a couple $1,000s a month. We did it on the cheap.
Just so they know, explaining, you talking about a warrior, not to be confused with a warrior. He's talking about the soldiers right there, not to be confused.
Right, soldiers not a warrior. So warriors, they fight for a cause. Okay, they may have honor
in the way they live.
Right, and what they do. They're fighting for a cause. So now, although that cause could be or belief, they believe in the state. So that also you have to be careful. So I wouldn't call samurai warriors. I wouldn't call members of the SF, Marine Raiders, or SEALs. I wouldn't call them warriors. They're highly trained soldiers. But if you're fighting for love and a belief, and that's the key thing in a warrior's, it's love of this thing. Honor, for me, that has to have a part of it. The only way I'm able to keep my honor is by training. You got to be realistic, though. So if I didn't have the training I have, and I didn't have the supply, I'm just talking about this with my wife a few minutes ago. Where I live at, most of these people, they got their supplies, they got their tools. When we bought this house a few months ago, down in the basement, we got a really large basement. In one room, they had it stacked with survival supplies. I said, these people are preppers. So the person showing us the house said, well, what's that? So I told her. She said, well, how do you know? I said, look at what you're looking at. I said, these are meals ready to eat here. You got all this water stacked from the floor almost to the ceiling here. You got all these different canned goods here. You got the dry foods here, even the way they had it ordered. I said, there's a safe in the other part of the basement. I'm pretty sure that's full of firearms. And when we come back, these will be gone. And it was all gone. Because they put that in whatever house they had now. Right? So then I moved my stuff in. Right? So I said, I would bank that most people who live around here are doing that. They have their supplies and stuff. So in order for me to kick in people's door here and take their shit, that means I got to murder them too.
Yeah, bone. Bad
character. If I didn't have my stuff, I'm not going to watch my family starve to death.
Right.
So that leads to, so get yourself trained and get your supplies. And it doesn't matter, okay, well, I don't have money to do. Save up. Canned goods, you can get canned goods, goddamn, for 10 cents.
Exactly. You can do something. You ain't got to be eating first class, but you got survival food is a little bit different. Could you pronounce your name, please? Someone in the chat was having difficulty with it.
I saw Ominiki.
Right. We say Amaniki because a little ghetto, but it's Omaniki.
Yeah, it comes from Olokun.
Amaniki, but it's
I'm glad that we're talking about this because this kind of segues into the news that I was going to introduce, which is more like a current event type of thing. But someone sent me a Facebook Messenger last night. They like to eat this certain packaged product, and it used to be $5, and now it's like $8. So they sent me a picture like, what is going on here?
$9.99.
Right,
price?
Right. It was $9.99, but then the sale price was $7.99 when it was like a few months ago it was $5. So what I immediately started thinking was just like unstable economy, not sustainable the way that these prices are going. And what that made me think of is making sure that my go bags are prepped and making sure that everything in them is up to date. So that's something that, we all could make sure that we're doing right now, is just go in there and make sure that everything that you have is something that you'll be able to use. Make sure you don't have expired products in there or things that, things that you can't use. So that's my current event for the day.
We are here because I just went through my bag yesterday. I went through I got a wooden picnic basket just because nobody expecting. It's got all these canned goods in there. Bunch of chicken Vienna sausages. I'm like, yo, if I get into something and I eat some chicken Vienna sausage, we're gonna have some problems wherever we at. They're gonna find us. Y'all gonna either put me out or they're gonna be walking by like, what in the hell?
Yes. Oh my goodness.
So
that's almost worse than the potted meat.
I made all those charitable donations. You know what I'm saying? And I thought about it, just like you said. I'm like, man, I got to replenish all this stuff, man. But if you want it a little bit at a time, you go to Dollar General, you go to wherever you can. I don't want to plug nobody I meant to say the dollar store, but it's an actual dollar store. But you go to the cheap store and you get what you can, and you know what you can do. So, and do it as soon as possible. Don't wait. Let me tell you, something is brewing, and I don't like to be that type of person to be. I'm not paranoid at all, but when you see the entertainment business laying folks off, right now, when you see people like Google and Amazon and stuff like that, it's going to trickle down. You know what I'm saying? It's going to trickle down. All this stuff, even if you're not into cryptocurrency or whatever, your money under the mattress. The fact that certain things are failing at the moment is causing a big impact. It's going to cause a big impact. And when you see it in entertainment, like they canceling shows, it's the new Spider-Man ain't coming out.
Right.
People got fired. They laying people off and all type of stuff. You ain't seeing that in a while. When you start seeing stuff like that, things could be rough. So prepare, which is and I think this coincides with it's great. I think the topic is right on time.
Yeah, well,
appreciate you, Bob, for picking this topic out.
Most definitely.
Now this is good. Manifesto. I put Tomahawk in my bug out bag that I made for my mom. Excellent. Because Tomahawk is a great tool to have. I was given one. Well, I was given hand axe, which is similar, for my birthday one year by one of my students, and that's in my go bag right now. If you can get the tactical shovel, you can use that as a tool so you can double up. That's a shovel, is also a cutting tool. So double up on your stuff. Now, Ice Cold Carter has already put out the word. Everybody should have Ice Cold Survival in their bug out bag. That's the survival manual written by Ice Cold Carter himself. All right.
So you can have some entertainment with you while you're.
He probably
bugging in. Everything in there is effective.
Listen, he probably threw people off with the book because he's holding a sword. So they're not thinking that he's serious with his self-defense because they got that sword in there, but it's serious self-defense in there.
I got to read that one.
Yeah. We'll have to get
Ice Cold Survival.
When did that one come out, Baba?
Last week.
Oh, okay. That's why.
I would say that's my best.
Been working.
That's my best survival manual.
Yeah, Bo. Oh, that's great.
Wow.
The other thing I've been working on is a dating tips manual. I get asked about dating.
I saw about that one
for years, and so I've been working on this manual. But I went back, re-edited it because now it's Ice Cold Carter has stepped in and written the manual, and so it's from his point of view.
I can only imagine.
We're gonna do an audio book
about town.
We're gonna do an audio
book. That'd be hilarious.
Baba interviewing Ice Cold Carter.
Now, our manifesto says I have no food. I need stuff for my bags. Yeah, you ain't got no bug out bag if no food's in that mug.
Yeah, you gonna bug out.
Bag.
Yeah, you gonna have a plan that the other man had.
So
yes, you're going up to somebody's house.
Dating tips. So you say, well, why dating tips? Because one of the we have to exist, continue to exist, right? And so we have to get together to continue to exist. And one of the weaknesses that we have is we don't know how to choose a partner properly. And we don't know how to treat a partner properly. So this is what Ice Cold Carter is going to deal with because he's a man about town. So he know all about how to treat
the ladies.
Ladies, right. Baba and Ice Cold about to get into manosphere. No. So no, absolutely not. We ain't going that route.
Wow.
But we're doing it. We're doing it for everybody. So Ice Cold Carter's pulled in his cousin to help, who's a sister, and she's a psychologist, to help write this book.
Okay.
So it's for men and women. Okay. It's for everybody. So it's not just for men. I'm not doing like what's his name? Kevin Samuels. Not doing like that. Nice. Ice Cold Carter not gonna be on there with a tight skinny suit, and his legs crossed and being kind of, y'all know Kevin Samuels.
he transitioned, Baba.
Huh?
I said he transitioned.
I know he transitioned. I mean, transition. We can't say nothing about him.
What?
Ice Cold advice.
Time for the Ice Cold podcast. It might be time for the Ice Cold podcast once that comes out. People gonna want to interact. They're gonna
Ice Cold dating. Ice Cold dating podcast. Hey,
boy,
we can do it right here on Black Power Media. It's got the revolutionary spin to it, all that. Most folks don't even think in terms of partnership when they choose. Exactly. Now, we're dealing with survival. You have to, if shit falls, you got to be with this person. Me and the wife, we've been talking about, okay, if there was total global collapse and there's a person there who wants to, like says we have to continue our existence of humanity. I want to marry your daughter. We have to at least contemplate that.
Right, because his mindset. Because
that person's absolutely right. Now we got to look into that person. What are they about? What have they done to survive? What are they planning to do to keep us alive? Because it's more than just having sex. Sex produces a baby, but what does in raising that child? Okay, so they got sense, and they can keep the world going on. So there are things we have to think of. You do not, and that's why there was a lot of divorce going on during the pandemic because people were locked up with folks they really didn't know. Because they hadn't made an intelligent decision, or they made a decision just by themselves. The community wasn't involved in that.
Not even that. They knew that some of them knew the person they was with, but they was able to be away most of the time.
But if they're away that much, they really didn't know them. They knew they were assholes.
There are relationships.
They started staying away because of that.
Right.
They realized they fucked up in the relationship. I fucked up, got the wrong motherfucker, but I'm gonna stay happy hour and then come home and go to sleep. But they can't do that. Now you home with this motherfucker you hate. You've been hating for 10 years. You've been married for 20. You know what I'm saying? And it pop off all of a sudden.
There are marriage relationships where husbands have never seen their wives' real hair. You know, I mean, you think about that, especially during like a pandemic period where you can't go out, you know, you can't go get your hair. You can't do none of that fake stuff that you've been doing.
I'm mad if you under 50 years old. Now, if you 80 years old and you ain't never seen your wife hair, then maybe, you know, I can't speak for that time. I don't know what they was doing back then. But if you ain't seen your wife real hair before you married her these days, I'm mad at you. Not the woman. Hey, game is game. I ain't mad at you.
Well, I told you, Korean dude marries his wife. And this is also partly his fault. You got to research. He marries his wife. He's a handsome dude. She's a beautiful woman. Their children look god awful. Like they were slapped by 3 miles of bad road. He's like, how in the hell did this happen? My whole family is nice looking. Look, my mama, my dad, my grandparents. Finds out he gets a real picture of her. So now he does his research. They married, had 3 children. And she was god awful. And now, then he gets a divorce from her. Well, wait a minute, you got 3 children. Man, now.
Yeah, now you what? Right. Now you come on.
And it shouldn't be all about looks at all. It shouldn't be that should be the last on the. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, that you're not gonna look, but it should be last on your list. But damn, it's a deception. Because she had that she had the plastic surgery done, right? But that's typical in Korea, because Korea is the #1 place where they get plastic surgery.
Oh, wow.
In the world. #1.
Yeah.
For many reasons. One, the men get it a lot of times, and they spend more time in the bathroom looking at themselves, all of that. They're more into physical looks. But the men do it, they get plastic surgery on a certain part of their body.
Oh, yeah. Yapu talking about that show that was when people discovered
who the bleep did I marry? What? That really?
Yeah, they found out they're married serial killers.
They were married to serial killers.
I believe most of them knew.
Damn.
I believe most of them knew. They tried to beat them charges. You know what I'm saying? They was married, so they knew they weren't going to be charged. So they was like, I had no idea that they.
Well, this is a question for y'all, and we'll get into the show. I've always asked, and I asked Milton Davis, who's an author friend of mine, how does, and I'll tell y'all his answer. I don't know if I agree with it, but when you're married to a man or a woman that you know is a dirtbag, is just vicious in business, stepping on people's lives, you know, or an abusive police officer, how do you reconcile in your mind to stay with somebody like that? I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So Milton said, well, you know, you love the person and you learn to just adjust to what it is they do, and you may not agree with it, but you learn how to adjust to make it work for the family. I said, no, man, fuck that. If my wife turns around and tells me she's a serial killer, I'm not telling on her, but I probably won't be sleeping in the same bed with her no more.
Right.
Because I wouldn't look at her the same.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's and a lot of the stuff that I don't, and I've told y'all can bear me witness. I've told them, if you all knew all that I've done for God and country, you would look at me differently. And when shit falls down, you're going to look at me differently anyway, because there are things I'm going to do that you never imagined I would do. Haven't I told y'all that?
Yeah.
A number of times.
Yeah.
I know that already. I'm not saying they're not going to love me no more. They won't rock with me no more. I'm not going to go that far. But I am going to do things to keep us all alive that people say, oh, my God. Oh, my God. Because we've never been forced to have to do it. And And they're going to do things. Y'all going to do things that you may say about yourself, but other people say, oh my God. But that's going too far. Serial killing, raping.
I couldn't. I could only love someone if they was a family member. I could love them from a distance, but I couldn't be married to nobody that was abusive. It just had.
The thing is, what if you had, and then you find out?
Oh yeah, I'm trying.
They murdered an entire village of poor folk.
Depending on how, now I'm gonna get away. First of all, I'm getting away. Some type of way I got to get away. But depending on how good they were to me, that's gonna depend if I tell or not. If they wasn't that good, like yo, she ain't never cooked. On I used to be hungry.
They never cooked, but you just
got a dime. I'm like, I mean, yo, come pick her up.
Wow.
Oh no.
So you're a kid like a conditional snitch.
Yeah, I'm a snitch. Gotta be some conditions.
It's good to know.
You was kind of foul at home, and I was like, yo, I could have put this together. Because I felt like she would have killed me if I ever got too far. I'm going, yeah, she gonna kill somebody else.
Just gonna snitch on. Okay, I got you.
Somebody else. So before we get into this, because Bob,
I would like to give my answer.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think I could stay with a person either, Baba. I am a big believer. I have worked for a few corporations. There's actually something that I wanted to mention when we get into the subject about something corporate. But I'm a big believer that there is no separation between who you are when you're at work and who you are in life. You know, there's a lot of people at work who are extremely cutthroat, who have all these things that they do. And, you know, you find out they're super religious, or you find out they have this other view of themselves. And they in their minds feel like they are completely detached from these actions that they're committing basically on a daily basis. The way they treat people, you know, the things that they do, there's no real separation there. It's just like I think I can't remember who said Yapo was saying they feel like they were next if the person was a serial killer. Like it's just they haven't gotten to that point in their relationship. Nothing has happened to them in your relationship with them that has brought that out of them. But it's there, and it definitely can come out at any time. So I wouldn't be able to stay with someone knowing that they had committed heinous acts like that.
Unless you're like me, because normally I'm the lamb. But
always.
Always the lamb.
These comments,
even when I was killing people overseas, I was still the lamb. I was
lamb-like.
I was lamb-like. Now, our manifesto said, "Feed belay women, or he'll flip." Yeah, so make sure. Or make sure ain't no phones in the house.
Balagoon has seen the devil. Like, what are we talking about? Don't turn into Negan from Walking Dead, Bob. Like, what is it?
Now, you know what? I would say if I was any character in The Walking Dead, I'd probably be closer to Negan.
That's my favorite character.
I'd probably be closer to
Negan. That's my favorite character. I told him.
Yeah.
I wanted to tell him. I wanted to speak for all of us on the set and say, "Hey, man, the blacks like you, bro. I ain't want to tell you, but the blacks."
Now, I would like it to be a brother on the show that I was closer to, but all the brothers were simps.
Yeah, they just made them.
They reduced the brother to walking around with a baby on his chest.
Yeah, we not
and a hammer. I mean, come on, man. Nothing wrong walking with a baby. I walk around with my baby on my chest. But not if I got to throw down against a zombie. I put my baby in the go bag or something, and then I throw down. I'm not going to be walking around with it on my chest looking like a simp. I at least got to look cool while I'm killing zombies.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
You know, I was thinking about The Walking Dead when we were talking. You were talking about the technology piece as far as being equated or being acquainted with using guns and with bow and arrow, projectile weapons, more rudimentary like the slingshot. Because if I don't know if everyone watches The Walking Dead, but there could be at a point where we don't have the technology to make bullets. Then, you're going to need to know how to use other things that can be as effective.
Even if, and we do have the technology right now to make bullets in the millions. Who online knows how to make bullets? I mean, come on now. Who online knows even how to fill a bullet?
Yeah.
Do you know what to do? Most people say, well, I fill it with gunpowder. You don't even use gunpowder in bullets anymore. So even if we have the technology, we don't have the know-how even right now.
Right.
So eventually, guns are going to become paperweights. For a while, bullets will be currency. You still keep currency in your bag, though. The reason why, because I've been asked, well, why keep currency in people, banks and stuff? It's going to be useless because you still have ignorant people out here who you'll say, well, I'll give you $100 for 2 rolls of toilet paper. And they'll say, I beat that fool. I could use the toilet paper. They cannot use the money.
They'll be using it as toilet paper.
And it's going to take a minute. Some fool's going to be on that for a minute too, thinking, you know.
Right. Yeah. So always have money in your go bag too.
Money, alcohol.
But it's not going to be worthless when you're dealing with people.
Cigarettes.
You know, your cigarettes work, alcohol, they can all be traded. I would say I ain't trading alcohol. No, I'm using up my damn self. I'm gonna be stressed out. so
I try to get some heroin or something for all y'all other folks.
Yeah,
so before we get into this, as we get into this, I just want to say real quick some things that came to my mind about this whole psych op thing. Just some people that come to my mind. One would be, I think about Aristotle and the Greek and like Plato and people like that. It's funny that's what I think about when I think of psych. I think of Alexander the Great. That's what I think of when I think of propaganda and stuff like that. Like, and just how a psychopath, how they like able to turn somebody that's meaningless into somebody important, or somebody good into bad, turn some history, you know, make it look favorable when it wasn't, different things of that nature. So I think, I say Aristotle because he's credited with so many things, right?
Stolen legacy.
He's got his whole stolen. Of course, he admits that he says he got everything from Africa or whatever, but they chose to give him everything. But they never ever focus on his views, like his other views. He got things that he got from Africa, but everything else he was like his personal stuff was foul. Like he said publicly he hate women. He believed that women shouldn't be on the earth, that he detests them, they're foul, they're disgusting. And Plato was the same way. He believed that all women should be communally shared. That was just like, those are their views. Like you don't hear that kind of stuff. Mother Teresa, you know, I think about people like her. We hear about all this.
Yeah, Gandhi, that's another one.
Gandhi was stone cold racist.
Gandhi is one of the biggest ones, but I don't really think of him because we all kind of know that. But I think of people
I got attacked at the King Center about Gandhi. I got physically.
I was going to talk about like the fact that he's there, man. Nikola Tesla. People don't know that he believed in a superior race. He believed in eugenics. He said he believed that the white man is superior, that we should weed out everybody else. All of that stuff. Nobody don't talk about that. Nobody don't think about any of that stuff. And it's because of the narrative has been able to be controlled in a way where we end up, and this is the little bit of stuff, you know, but we end up giving honor and praise to things that are not for our benefit. You know what I'm saying? That's just how these are the first things I thought about, you know, Lincoln and all that stuff. The first things that just went through my head when we got on this topic. So I appreciate you bringing this up, Bob, because we just so duped, man. And I really feel like this is the meat of it, you know, because it's all about getting us to believe. If I can get you to believe that dragons can fly, what can't I get you to believe? I mean, well, the dragons may have flown, but if I'm talking about right now, if I can get you to believe some shit like that right now, I can get you to believe anything that I can fly. You know what I'm saying? And you can't. You know what I'm saying?
If you play Dungeons and Dragons, you know dragons can fly. You already know that.
Right. I'm a
You
little.
got to play Dungeons and Dragons to have the.
Interesting enough. It's so funny how everything connected, but yeah, let's get to it. I'm gonna be posting some stuff later about dragons, actually.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
and giants.
Now, African dragons, African giants, all of that is also in stories throughout the world too.
Baba,
when you play certain of those games, they're very Eurocentric, just so you know.
Hey, that's crazy you said that. So I was just, we go get to it, y'all. This is the last thing, real short. I was looking at the book of Enoch, right? You know, Enoch, the guy that got took up in the whirlwind, right? Or whatever, supposedly. So
I thought you were talking about my boy that lived on 69 Cottage Grove in Chi-Town. Okay.
No. The book of Enoch. I'm looking at the book of Enoch, and they talking about this one giant that was doing all the most. This giant named Oya. Oya.
Okay.
I hadn't, and I'm like, yo, I just had to throw that out there because you just said African giants and stuff. And in the whole book of Enoch, the most prevalent, besides Gilgamesh, you know what I'm saying, is Oya, which is a giant that's in the book of Enoch. So that's just inherently African, you know what I'm saying, that whole story in that book. So just thought I'd throw that out there. We can get to it next.
All right, so excuse me. We're gonna get to
That's right. Oh, Mother Teresa. Oh, sorry. Okay,
talk on psychological warfare. Now, unlike physical combat, psychological warfare involves a mental or emotional type of battle. Okay? Psychological warfare utilizes specific designs, including propaganda and menacing statements that aim to adversely affect an enemy's rationale and actions. Several intended effects of psychological warfare may include the control, pressure, or weakening of the enemy in both mind and body.
We have all been subjected, to psychological warfare since birth. And one of the easiest things, or one of the most common things that we're subjected to is advertising. If you think about, that's something that you see all the time. You could pass countless advertising from the time that you leave your home to the time that you get to wherever it is that you're going that day. And I wanted to share a story really briefly because it was so on point with this particular point. It's something that I experienced this week. I actually did an orientation for the part-time type job at a corporation. So I was around a bunch of people who I wouldn't necessarily always be around day to day. But since they were talking about the corporation and the branding and all of that, the person who was doing the training asked us to name brands that we were loyal to. So of course people were just, throwing out all these different brands. And this one young man was like, Nike. He stated it like very definitively, and people were like almost saying amen, like he was preaching. And and he was, so she asked him, she was like, well, what's so great about Nike? And which, it was just a question, but he was just talking about how great everything that they make is, and how, he's just addicted to it. Like he literally used the word addicted to it. And I was just amazed by that. And, the fact that we were going to have this topic this week, I just wanted to put that out there, because this is, looking at him, he could not afford a lot of Nike. You know what I'm saying? But the thing that we were at, like, you're supposed to wear, nice clothes. I'm not judging him or anything like that. But, to say that this is your addiction and this is something that you have to reach for so much because it's not something that you can readily afford, I just thought, that is a real indication of it having this hold on his mind. The advertising for that having such a strong hold over him.
Yeah.
No doubt. Hey, so yeah, psychological warfare has been around hundreds of years before the computer, but the computer made it 100 times easier to practice and made it much, much harder to detect.
There are various psychological warfare tactics, methods, and means that are used to disseminate propaganda and misinformation, including news outlets. Television and radio stations are used as outlets to broadcast propaganda and reach widespread audiences across cities and sometimes even nations. Media. Posting propaganda on social media sites such as Facebook or Instagram illustrates modern psychological warfare techniques. This can include hoax profiles and accounts which aim to influence viewers' beliefs either for or against certain ideas. During the voting time, there were so many fake accounts hitting me up. You know,
they buzzed YouTube. What I posted that article. They had over over 1,500 YouTube channels were government channels about flat Earth. That actually happened. You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting again how everything divine timing. About Eric Snowden just released a document sent to the U.S. citizens and to the president, and it was about the new stages of propaganda that I don't know who. I guess he's trying to warn the president, like, this is the shadow government or whatever. You know, that's not my word, but how they're going forth in the future with their propaganda, and he's detailing it. Have like bullet points and everything. Really, really interesting. And it's showing how they're going to use the news outlets, the media, the leaflets, and every little thing they can, and how they're going to do it. Very, very interesting. So check that out if you get a chance, everybody. That's on. You can find that on YouTube as well.
B-Lad mentioned leaflets. PSYOPs sometimes reach civilian groups by dropping flyers from aircrafts on the enemy territory. Excuse me. And this was also used to Vietnamese. In Vietnam, they would put a leaflet on the brother's chest to let them know they were in the tent. They could have killed him. This is not your war. This is not your war, black man.
I think World War II also.
Who, the Germans did that?
They were dropping, leaflets.
Oh yeah, they were dropping leaflets for sure. So they've been doing it quite some time. Prior to the widespread use of media outlets and the internet, this was an effective means of spreading manipulative information, dropping the leaflets, particularly to remote areas.
Right.
False flags. A false flag campaign occurs when one party takes a particular action and blames it on another party.
Politics.
False flag events are designed with deception in mind, as they are meant to convince the enemy that the event was perpetrated by their own enemies.
We know the most famous case.
Yeah, I won't name certain cases here. We'll get snatched off the air.
Right.
But there's definitely been false flags in recent years, and they're blaming Arabs and all kinds, for it.
It rhymes with time.
All got false flags. I shot him in the head because he pointed a weapon at me.
All the time.
They always doing false flags. Alternatively, in some instances, a false flag event may attempt to deceive individuals into thinking the action was executed by a friendly party. An example of a literal false flag, along with the origin of the term, this is where it comes from historical accounts of pirate vessels that displayed the flags of friendly lands. So they sailing through. You think they got the British flag flying? You think they're actually pirates, right? They would sail through Britain, no problem. This tactic was intended to mislead and attract merchant vessels. So merchant vessel from the UK comes up. Well, it wasn't the UK then, but England comes up, tries to trade with you. Next thing, you boarding that ship and taking all their stuff. They went by the flag. People believe from watching TV that The opposing force won't put on your uniform. We do it all the time. To fit in amongst that population. So, you know, you walking up on them thinking they're your friend and they got you. Okay.
Yeah, well. Propaganda connects to your belief system. Creators aim to affect your thoughts and opinions with the hope that the recipients act on the newfound ideas. This method clearly intends to take advantage of individuals' emotions. In the event that the targeted people's emotions are running high, a frenzy may occur that compels the group to take action, i.e., the George Floyd murder, for example. The propagandists count on this. And I would just say, with this, you know, we also need to be thinking about, of course, our children. I think about advertising a lot. That was the first thing I thought about when I started thinking about this particular topic. And when we talk about how this propaganda targets your belief system, like our children are very vulnerable to that. So, you know, you have adults out here who anything that someone says is for children, they will let their children watch. They won't sit with them, they, you know, or anything. They have no idea what's coming across the screen. But during those shows and during the advertising for those shows, they are targeting your children with these specific beliefs. You know, whatever the new belief in something is, they're putting that in front of your children directly and, you know, targeting their value system again. And it's very difficult to undo that once it's done, especially when the framework is sort of built. It's very difficult to talk them out of that because this is a reality that's been created for them.
Right. And so, you know, and it end up affecting the other children that'll push that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
really easy. I know exactly what you're talking about. I seen it with anyway. One thing too that you about this, they were saying how like you know how the protagonists, they count on, you know, on your emotions to run high in these type of situations when and you do erratic things.
Right.
That's the importance of already training, of already being a part of an organization that you feel that you're doing. It's important to be doing something.
Right.
Proactive. You know what I'm saying? That you feel is given to this cause whatever cause that you feel that you want to live for, and that you want to fight for, you should always be doing something. So you don't ever. My friends always, and not just friends, associates, and I see it all over Facebook. And as soon as things pop off, I just want to do something. They got that energy. I just want to. I never feel like that. Well, let me take that back. I feel like that as a Black person in America, but not when these situations happen. They don't trigger me because I feel like I'm always doing something that's putting us in this, is putting me closer, that's putting us closer. So I don't have to jump off and feel like I got to just do something all of a sudden, because that's not thinking, you know, straight. And this is exactly what that was just talking about. So I just wanted to,
and you know, during George Floyd, there was so much work done on our emotions. You know, we were tired of the way we were getting treated, but it wasn't new. I'll tell you, this isn't new. You just seeing that, you know, tell my younger children, this isn't new. This is just, now you're seeing it on social media. But, you know, I remember a brother comes out with, I woke up about 2, 3 in the morning, go to the bathroom, and I look on the phone, and his brothers come out with the song, I Just Want to Live. I just want to live. And I'm playing the song, and I'm crying, listening to that shit, right? I said, man, I turned it off. I don't think he was doing it for propaganda, but it could be used to affect your emotions and get you to move emotionally instead of moving rationally, which we have to do. We were hired to secure this caravan that was riding through the neighborhoods, encouraging people to stand up during George Floyd.
Right.
So we going through these different sites where the police had murdered people and people were on 10. This one sister And I think she was, and I myself just seeing the way she was moving. When we first came around the corner, we in a caravan. She didn't say nothing till the security car pulls around. That's us. And she says, they hear something like that, right? I said, keep your eyes on her. Because how does she know who
the one I end up having to go up to.
And so I tell, she's acting the fool. She got her car, and she just looks like she's inciting the crowd. I said, bullshit. I said, Bila, can you go over there? Because it's causing chaos. Can you speak to her? Speak to her and tell her we just need her to move her car because it's blocking other cars trying to come through here. She went off, you will not control me. A man's trying to control a woman. You will not. See, that's pushing your buttons. A man will not control a woman.
Right.
That's not something you yell naturally if you feel like somebody trying to control you.
Right.
You may say, get the F away from me, mother effer. You ain't going to control nothing. But a man's trying to control a woman. See, that kind of stuff.
Attention.
So
everybody look.
I said, yeah, all that's nice move, man. So she moved. And I'm trying to do it and have the people that's doing security for the car do it. Well, we ain't looking like the police.
Right.
But I'm seeing work. You're trying to incite people's emotion to, they'd already burnt down the Wendy's there. You're trying to cause other shit. And I'm trying to get these cars through safely.
She in the middle of the street, got the roadblock, all the windows rolled down.
So after that, she drives off. And then next thing, the car's rolling up the street, all the doors open. I said, okay, this like I've seen this before. They're gonna start shooting from the doors, and you can't see the driver, and the car's creeping up the street. I said, everybody get in the cars, let's go. And we got in the cars, got the hell out of there. There's so much that's going on when emotions high, that kind of shit can happen. Death is there. When or just straight confusion, emotions high. Kiki Palmer in the front of the line of protesters, which is bullshit. Celebrities get their ass back somewhere. They're not running anything. And if you take a celebrity as a leader, you're already in a deficit. So she's in the front. She steps up to the police. Won't you love us? Won't you march with us? That is weakening exactly what you're trying to achieve. So I'm looking at all these things happening, man. I said, this thing is going to go bust.
The NF8, the NF, whatever the F they call, and Grandmaster J pops out of nowhere.
Grandmaster J pop. But before him, Sister pops up, Sister and a couple of brothers, and they tend to be like Black Panthers. They got a panther on the beret. Number one, it's the 555th triple nickels patch from the Army on the black beret. It doesn't go on the black beret, it's too big, so it was bigger than the beret. It was ridiculous, but people were so emotional, and they said, oh, finally somebody's standing up, yeah! Without paying attention to what the hell's going on. They're looking at this person, and okay, that doesn't even fit. If you really care about being strong and stuff, you're not going to look like a clown. And then I pointed out to my students, I said, she's carrying a 22. That's not it's made to look like an AR-15. You're playing games.
Didn't she?
She's standing there with a 22.
Did you get the police officer? Did you get
like
with
it's an AR-15?
All right, okay, her.
Did you get with the captain? Remember? She get with the captain. They hold hands.
And she's holding hands with the cops. See all of that.
I posted something ain't right.
But then and then when you talk about the not fucking around coalition, I'll say
it came out. Remember, it came out. She was just a model, an actor.
And the other dudes, actors.
Mm-hmm. Came out later. But everybody attacked us for talking about that.
Actors, but we want to stand up. Get your ass out of here. So that was bull. And then not fucking around coalition was bull. Actors. He's seen with Trump taking off his shirt, talking about all lives matter, all this foolishness.
He was in hip hop before they scamming people.
They stand outside shooting each other.
They
weren't trained. They didn't know what they were doing.
Guns, air guns, some of them fake guns.
Like a lot of those are air guns. They were not So you're not protecting nobody. You are fucking around.
People
And
people just don't know no
somebody
better.
said, I said on the thing, we cannot have fake weapons and not be trained and go out there talking about we represent protection for the people. So somebody said, say that to Jam Master, not Jam Master J. What the hell is his name? Grandmaster J. I said, oh, he follows me. I put his name up there. I said, so him and you, I'm telling both of y'all, don't have your ass out in the street, because if you're doing that and you're untrained and you have people following you, you're an enemy to the people. That person didn't say shit else. And you think Grandmaster J said something to me? Hell no.
Because
hell no. So because, and I said, they call themselves the Not Fucking Around Coalition. I'm not a coalition, but I am not fucking around. I'm not playing. When it comes to that kind of stuff, man, you don't get up there and say you're going to protect the people and with violence. You're going to protect the people with violence, and you aren't trained to do that your damn self. But then you incite hundreds of people because they're excited. Our people need to be able to defend themselves and be willing to and really skilled and able to, right? And so people were joining on to this dude who was going to lead them right into slaughter.
Listen, Bob, it was
that
so
is the enemy. That's the enemy. And I'm saying it right here. I don't give a fuck if he went to prison. I don't give a fuck about that. He probably on an island somewhere. I'm telling you, man, people like that, those people will get us killed straight up. And so we cannot go off emotion. And that's what that means when it says the propagandists count on us being that way. So you see me like this, somebody, he's intense. Goddamn right, I'm intense. But I'm not emotional. Right. Because this intensity is what will drive me to killing somebody if they come through that door. But I won't be emotional about it, man. It's what happens. It's mathematical. And I will after I do that, I will take the necessary steps to get my family safe. But you goddamn right, I'm gonna be intense with it. Everybody that comes through that door is gonna die, but then I'm gonna get us out of there, and I'm not be killing like, I'm not a goddamn barbarian. I don't have to go for the barbarian shit because I'm trained. That's why it's important for us as a people to be trained and to be ready to protect ourselves. But if you out there in the first place on camera with hundreds of people talking about you protecting the Black community, you are bullshitting. Because if you're protecting the Black community, you got 100 people behind you. It's ways to do that shit, get that shit done, and nobody ever knows.
Yes, Bob.
So,
and the thing is, if you train, you can see somebody like that and you'll know it's bullshit right away. And see, the problem is you got these big social media sites, they use them because these folks don't know nothing about any type of training. So now they say, oh, look at this group, and they posting them, and you got everybody say, oh, he drew down on the KKK. If you ain't from if you ain't been in Atlanta, if you ain't from Atlanta like that, if you ain't been here if you just get here, ain't no KKK at Stone Mountain. They ain't been there. Ain't been there 50, 60 years. Right. So that was a display. And then if you know anything think about this. We talking about real life, right? This real life. This is real quick. We ain't gonna stay on this forever because people gotta really be following this dude, and you gotta understand how dangerous it is. Because I can be about it, but not trained and go up there and get myself killed, and I got a family. This dude told the KKK, we gonna meet y'all at Stone Mountain on Saturday. We're going to be up there Saturday, 2 weeks in advance. We're going to be up there Saturday. That ain't what you do in real life. Right. I'm coming up there to kill. We're going to be up there locked and loaded with guns. And then on Saturday, they actually go. Some people holding air guns. Some people got jam guns. It's pictures to prove this.
And then they have children with them too?
That's what I'm getting to. Fingers on the trigger, and right beside them, women with strollers. Bunch of women with strollers all on Stone Mountain. Now, if some white folks, some real Klansmen was really about it that day, you would have had nothing but a bunch of dead Negroes. Right. Women and children. At any time, if some organized folks would have attacked them people, at any time, you would have had nothing but dead Negroes. They done shot themselves. People
Right.
done shot each other at the last protest. They shot each other by mistake. And people are promoting this, man, and they attack me when I talked about it because I'm just looking at this ain't right. This ain't don't fall for that, y'all. Oh, Nick, you tried. You wouldn't do that. You ain't, but that's why you. Okay, all right. I'm not gonna argue with you. I know what I know. This is why it's important because you may have be true of heart and go up there and get yourself.
And I've had people come to me just so folks can know, and that's fine. They say such and such happened. We need something done, Baba. I say, oh, absolutely. And then they think I'm going to, if I'm not saying I took care of what needed to be taken care of or not. But if it needs to be taken care of, it's going to get taken care of. That's all I'm going to say. People upset because it don't go the way they want it to go.
Right.
You want it one way.
One person, I do this. You don't. So I'm not going to explain to you what I do, how I do it. Just sit your ass down, shut the fuck up, and just watch what happens. Watch the work happen. And if you say, well, I don't know if that was you, if that was Kismet, if that was the heavens, if it was Johnny down the road, I don't know. You ain't got to know. You got done what you want to done. So shut your ass up.
Yeah,
That's the way. But see, we talk too much outside our neck, especially with social media. We talking too much.
Mm-hmm.
We doing too much snitching. We dry snitching. We doing too much. If I had to take somebody out of here and send them back home to the heavens, I'm talking about, right? If I had to do something like that, and I'm a lamb, I really don't want to do anything like that. But if I had to do something like that, had no choice, I'm not sharing that on social media. I'm not sharing that with y'all. I'm not sharing that with my wife. I'm not sharing that with my children. The work will just get done. My wife knows. She come to me and say such and such happened. It's going to get taken care of, and we're not going to talk about it ever again. That is how we have to move. But if I get up and make I wrestle with even doing this. No way would I do a coalition, right? Mm-hmm. And we all over there marching through Stone Mountain, marching in Alabama, marching in Texas, marching. Why
you got to be like
and ain't doing shit. Marching ain't doing nothing. Cops shoot your brother in the head and you march down the street. You ain't done nothing to that.
You got a bunch of guns though, Bob, while you marching.
Yeah, a bunch of guns that you ain't popping. Half of them ain't real. I'm gonna shoot them with some air. Poof.
You just making yourself a target.
I'm like, come on, man. See, that is fucking around.
Right.
That's playing with the lives of people, and you don't give it. When you say not fucking around, you don't give a fuck about the people to even do that. If I form something, we're gonna go so and so, and somebody shows up with an air gun. They're getting the hell about it. They'd be lucky to get the hell about our presence without their ass whooped. Because you're playing around, you can get us killed. I'm relying on you to have my back, and you got an air gun. I look back, and one of our people got his finger on the trigger, pointing at anybody, but at a stroller, he getting the hell out the line. Go home.
They got
and
pictures
then I'm gonna
like
be
this.
Probably crying because I realize I didn't train to do well enough.
Right.
See, that's the thing, man, that we got to get past seeing anybody as a savior and allowing shit, and we don't do our research.
That's the main thing, man.
And it's good. We get pumped up, but get pumped up and really do. Get pumped up and do your research. Get pumped up and know that you training. Don't wait for somebody else to be goddamn marching down the street for you. You train so you realize marching down the street is not effective.
Right.
There you go. There you go.
And so then you can do. That's the thing. And that's the whole thing. My thing for warrior class is we train you so you can protect your family. And we gonna train. And if you make it to Atlanta or you in Atlanta, you can come and train with us. And you will see from the first goddamn day, I'm expecting you to work because I'm going to put training into you where you can protect yourself the moment you walk out the door in the first class. Now, you ain't going to be like me the day you walk out the class.
But you will feel like them.
More effective. Right. You'll feel like it, and you'll be more effective. And the reason why you feel like it, because you know you're more effective than you
real shit.
Walk through that door.
First day, you have one day.
But if you think you're gonna come in there doing karate kicks in a form, no. You can't karate kick a motherfucker shooting at you with a rifle. Because some people have asked me, well, why do you all train with rifles and stuff? Isn't martial arts enough? That all of it's martial arts. But if you're talking empty hand, I can do a cover against a hook punch. I can't cover, goddamn, if you're shooting at me with a pistol.
Can't cover this knife.
I can't cover that. I can one time. So, and then once that arm drop, ow! Now I get my throat slit. You have to be trained by somebody, and that's what we were at in the first place. You have to be trained by somebody who not only knows what they're doing, who's willing to give it to you, and who ain't gonna bullshit you, so they can make some money or they can feel powerful. I told the person when I moved here, I said, man, I didn't come here looking for people to follow me. There was a lot of that shit going on down there. People were telling me how I should move. And no, dude, I'm gonna do just like I did when I was back home. I've always been me. I'm gonna do me until the day they put me in the ground or in the sea or wherever they decide to put my ass. I am not going to, because I don't need nobody to follow me. I need you, goddamn, in a proper formation where we all going out there to do that work. I don't need you because people get followed. Now they want to push you ahead too by yourself.
Check that out, Bubba. Check that out. They're tripping over there, Bubba. Check that out.
Get him, Baba. Man, please, you better be helping me. Jerry said the other day, shit, I'm willing, if I'm somewhere with you, I'm throw down with you. But if I'm throwing down, get my ass whooped by myself, you better hope I die. I'm gonna visit you next.
Right.
And I'm that way.
You better know.
Especially if I'm with you and I done trained you. You're ready for this shit. You're ready for this shit. So if we gotta do, we gotta do, we gotta do with the object of going home. But we gotta do what we gotta do. And people know that about me, who know me. So, shit, police had stopped me and another student almost soon. I said, well, you ready? He said, I got it, Baba. Like, shit. He don't know what I'm gonna do, But I tell you one thing, we're gonna go home. We're going home. So whatever that entails, right?
Might have to go home and pack, but we gonna
go
there.
He's talking to the dude, the cop on this side. And I'm like, I'm assuming these dudes have semi-automatic rifles. This ain't regular police. Regular police dangerous enough. I said, so I gotta open my door, man. I opened my goddamn door. I had a crack, right? You're not gonna just shoot me from nothing. We going at it. So he's talking to the dude, and it's not going the way it should. So I step out. The partner, he stepped out the car. I said, yes, I stepped out the car. I got to stretch my legs, everything okay? So I'm assuming steady talking. I'm outside. I'm like, well, I'm gonna give him a few more minutes. I give him like 2-3 more minutes, and then, well, I gotta do what I gotta do. Mm-hmm. And he joked with them, and they left. I can't be joking with them. And you got your semi-automatic weapon, right? And you're right there. I know you Red Dog, and Red Dog not supposed to exist no more. By the way, but you still there. And they left. I said, well, lucky for them. Because now, shit. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking in terms of, well, I'm assuming still in the car, he could get shot, I don't want that to happen. Like I said, I want us to go home.
Right.
But I just cannot allow this motherfucker to think he controlling the situation. Unless it's tactically sound, makes sense for us for him to think he's in that situation. But when motherfuckers, well, we had just left class, it's 9 o'clock at night, and we're driving. Why pull us over? We hadn't broken any laws, anything. And why you get out of the car? Why you got on a jumpsuit? That's a tactical jump. That's a SWAT jumpsuit, and you got an AR-15.
Which even equipping the police like that is going to make them behave a certain way. That's all part of what we're talking about.
Military like shit. So I can't. Hey man, look.
Dr. Ball said facts.
Hey, and he saw me with, he saw my knives in my pocket. I assume he was that observant.
Right.
I didn't care. He's gonna see it. Jared said, as soon as I'm out the hospital, laughing out loud.
Hey,
so I mean, I was going for it. You never know what's gonna happen, but I tell you this: I'd have went home. I may have died right there on my couch. I'd have got home. I'm determined.
Hey, so before we continue, I just want to say this real quick, because dude got sentenced and he's supposed to be doing 7 years in prison. So I just want to say this is one thing I know for a fact. I know this for a fact. I don't know what he's doing. I know for a fact you can work for the feds, right? I don't know. I haven't done this, but I know for a fact that people have done this. You can work for the feds and they can say they locked you up. You're supposed to be going to jail and you ain't going to jail.
Right.
You can just be witness protection after that or whatever. You don't. That just would be a cover. Or you could work for the actual Fed. You could be a Fed agent, and they can say you went to prison and you didn't go to prison either.
Well, another fact that I know about that individual is he pointed his gun at FBI agents supposedly, and lived. It's real odd to me.
That's unprecedented in the history of niggerdom. Just in case y'all don't know. Just in case y'all don't know that. So,
right.
So that's the importance, like we were saying like we were saying to George Floyd, how the protagonists, they count on us to be emotional in those situations, and that's why we were saying the importance of training, and also the importance of not following the fool in those situations, how that could go bad. So to go back into propaganda, some propaganda is purposely misleading in order to make its point and create its intended outcome. The following are categories of propaganda. So we have white propaganda. The information advertised by white propaganda is straightforward and likely to be relatively true. Think white lies or lies by omission. White propaganda's defining factor is that its origins are forthcoming and honest and likely visible or audible. I think about Donald Trump, like Dave Chappelle was saying in that debate, where he made it seem like he was honest when he was like, show your taxes. Like, yeah, I didn't pay no taxes. Change the law. None of your friends pay taxes either. Change the law. We getting over. And it's like, oh Lord, he just took the veil off. Everybody see now. Oh my God.
And he's so honest.
Right.
Anyway, black propaganda. Oh, that's the bad propaganda, the black propaganda.
Now this comes from the military, so of course,
Right. The information advertised by black propaganda may be either true or purposely misleading. Black propaganda's defining factor lies within its deceptive origins. The individual responsible for its distribution will claim that it was created by the enemy, thus encouraging the atmosphere of distrust or blame toward the enemy.
So like the false flag.
Right.
This black propaganda.
I don't know the name of the movie, but Will Ferrell is in it, and they're running for it's politics. They're running for office. You know what movie I'm talking about, Amaniki? Candidate? Is it the Candidate?
I was thinking Candidate.
Oh my goodness, it's really good about propaganda though. So the next propaganda, the third one, is gray propaganda, and is pretty much self-explanatory. This type of propaganda is ambiguous regarding its origins, thus leading to a vague agenda. Since the creator is unclear, gray propaganda may generate confusion regarding its intentions.
Now, when most of us hear the word propaganda, we think of manipulation, disinformation, and probably on here, we think of Edward Bernays.
Yes.
Right. But it wasn't always like that. Propaganda began as an innocent word. In the 1600s, the Pope, now I ain't saying the Pope is innocent. In the 1600s, the Pope created a group in the Vatican to spread Catholic ideas around the world. Another word for spread is propagate. Okay. So the group was called For Propaganda, for propagating Catholicism, right? And the word was born. Now, to the millions of Catholics at that time, or probably millions during that time, that was not insidious.
Right.
You know, it was spreading spreading the word about Catholicism. But then in 1914, World War I, which is called at the time the Great War, after it was done, it was called the Great War before World War II. The Great War happened, or World War I, right? During the war, the leaders of both sides used media very effectively to demonize the enemy and motivate their own people to fight. And that kind of left a bad taste in people's mouths. Yeah. So propaganda became another word for lies. That's the origin of
it. Now, you may ask, who was Edward Bernays? Often described as the father of public relations, Edward Bernays was an American business consultant and pioneer in the field of publicity.
Just that name, excuse me, just the name public relations, it makes me think about how they named the stuff that they're going to do. Like, all that's propaganda, like the Freedom Act. Right. There ain't no freedom in the act. You know what I'm saying? Operation Liberation. It ain't liberating no damn body. Public, just the word public.
Yeah, they have no intention of truly relating to the public.
As long as you hear it.
Right. So exactly. So public relations he had to make something sound good. He had to,
you oppressively bear, which is the motto of special forces, to free the oppressed.
Oh, right.
Yeah. You know, and we fall for that. Not
to oppress the free.
Right. To free the oppressed. So the people, when they hear that, and they'll ask, what does that mean? What means to free the oppressed? This is our motto. This is how we live. This is what we're all about. People, we're going to teach you to kill the people who look just like you because you have to be free. They're oppressing you. We don't want to oppress them, but they're oppressing you. We're false flag. They're oppressing you.
Are they oppressing me? Yeah.
So in Vietnam, we tricked the Montagnards, which were the blacks in the mountains in Vietnam. They were treated poorly by the mainland Vietnamese who were Asian. Mm-hmm. Treated badly. So all that had to be done was to touch on that. And so the Montagnards welcomed them in, taught them, trained the Vietnamese in the mountains, the Montagnards. But the American soldiers didn't know that the Montagnards had already made a deal with the land, the ground Vietnamese. They were going to join forces against America. And if they did, the Montagnards would get equal freedom with the Asian ones. Uh-huh. And they stuck by it. And they ran American soldiers out of Vietnam. And people, they think you're talking about just regular grunt soldiers. They were running special forces operatives. We were operators. I was born, but I was little during that time. It wasn't me. My father happened to not be in Vietnam at that time. He started in Korea and he retired during Vietnam, but he didn't go to Vietnam. Right? They ran them out. He got ran out too. Yeah, you know, because they whooped ass. Well, that America was using propaganda on them, but their brothers and sisters had used propaganda on them already.
Right.
They just happened to stick to the promise of that propaganda.
Right.
So interesting that anywhere around the world that the darker skinned people seem to be
treated
isolated and oppressed.
Ain't
it's,
that something?
it's just funny.
Ain't
Anyway,
that something?
Edward Bernays' famous uncle was psychologist Sigmund Freud. Freud's ideas became a foundation of Bernays' thinking, such as the idea that people have an unconscious mind so they can be influenced without their knowledge. Edward Bernays said that there's an invisible government run by invisible governors, which really hold the power in every democracy. They organize the opinions of the masses so the societies don't break down into chaos.
That's a quote right there.
And that's from Edward Bernays. Now, back then, so people, people are hitting on something. They say, the invisible government stuff. But,
government.
they don't know the name. They, Illuminati, because they've heard that in a book or in a show somewhere.
Right.
Bilderberg Group.
Right. Those the groups that's really insidious and
Council on Foreign Relations.
Talking about, we probably don't know shit about their name.
We never would hear it. Yeah.
Right. So, we hear what they want us. Because I always ask me, where'd you hear about the Bilderberg Group from? From this book, so-and-so, so-and-so. Who wrote that?
You know how I feel. I cannot stand them YouTube documentary scholars talking about this is the Rain Man entity. Oh, my God.
All that, and they're using propaganda poorly. When you watch it, one thing that you could tell, the one thing this one of those damn YouTube documentaries, this one of them from the church. Well, church goers, because they're all talking about they're demonic. Man, them folks don't give shit about no demons. They don't give a shit about the Orisha. They don't give a shit about none of that. I'm telling you. So, Luciferian. Lucifer to them is the light bearer. Ain't got nothing to do with
Satan or the devil.
But one thing you could tell, so they always talking about that stuff. And two, they always got music behind what they talking about. So they know black folk may just listen to that music slam. Because they ain't talking about shit that you ain't heard before.
Then they got the secret. That's what I don't know. How you know the secret handshakes and the secret words?
Overeat babies. How do you know overeat babies? You at dinner with her?
What? I mean,
how do you know? That job is so ridiculous to me. And now I'm also not with the simple. Well, if they're gonna get black folk free, you're just trying to shut the person up. I understand why you're saying that. They're gonna get black folk free. No, it's not going to free black folk. No book, no video is going to get black people free. Okay, but
you're going to do it and educating yourself.
You can get educated. You can get inspired.
Right, the thought. It starts.
Getting free is going to take doing some shit.
Right.
Not watching some shit. Not praying to the Lord. None of that. Getting free.
Marching.
Goddamn work.
That's when the likes drop. Listen, that's when the likes drop on your post there. I can post all type of shit, but if I say meet me here, let's do this. Oh, motherfucker.
Well, I put I joke on Facebook. I put a joke, and that mug get a whole bunch of likes. Oh, yeah, a bunch of likes. I put some shit about we need to stand up. It's gonna get a bunch of likes. I put some shit about you need to stand up. That motherfucker ain't getting no likes.
No, sir.
You get like 2 likes.
No, sir. No, sir. Meet me at Cleveland now. We gonna clean up on the car. Oh boy. Ain't nobody. Well, after I clean up and post them pictures.
Yeah. I wish I could have made it. But I stubbed my toe on the way out the door.
Woo! Anyway.
All right, sorry, I'm nigga.
All right, sorry. Yeah, okay.
So no me to get down. I'm sorry.
So Bernays' invisible government includes public figures like politicians, journalists, celebrities, writers, professors, ministers, etc. The leaders of groups that may be religious, social, ethnic.
Hold on. Let me say this real quick, too, because people go too far. We ain't saying all journalists, celebrities, writers, professors, ministers are in the invisible government. Because I don't think Jerry's in the invisible government yet.
Right.
So he's a journalist and a professor. So I'll give you talk to me in a year or something. No, I'm just messing with you, Jared.
As soon as he get famous, a celebrity, that's 3 marked off. He got to join.
As soon as Jared becomes famous and a celebrity, becomes a celebrity, and he's a journalist and writer already. I mean, a journalist, writer, and professor. He's all.
Oh boy.
I think Jared's just gonna retire and be sipping Mai Tais on him and the family will be sipping Mai Tais in South America or something, in Cuba. No, I'm just messing with you. Or Talocan, where the fish people live, the Moors people.
Oh, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, Talocan's like, what?
Right, no, I got you.
Jared said, I'm sorry, Jared, I'm telling this plan. Sorry about that.
But yeah,
I told you we'd be snitching too much. See?
I know, spoilers.
But yeah, no, definitely not all, but these are people that's included in this government. You know what I'm saying? Not all of the leaders of groups that may be religious, but you're definitely going to have some of the powerful ones. Also, the private advisors of those public leaders, that makes sense, who help shape the message behind the scenes. That's why the cameraman for Martin Luther King was a Fed. It's the little people that you get to feed information to that make the biggest difference.
And the big people that's helping you to move or think you're moving society a certain way.
Right.
In 1928, Bernays published his seminal work, which was called Propaganda, in which he argued that public relations is not a gimmick, but a necessity. Not a gimmick, but a necessity. Bernays, so who's he talking to, right? Bernays said the conscious and intelligent manipulation of the organized habits and opinions of the masses is an important element in democratic society. Those who manipulate this unseen mechanism of society constitute an invisible government, which is the true ruling power of our country. We are governed, our minds are molded, our tastes formed, and this is all Bernays. We are governed, our minds are molded, our tastes formed, and our ideas suggested, largely by men we have never heard of. It is they who pull the wires that control the public mind. All right.
Yeah, boy.
Having seen how effective propaganda could be during war, Bernays wondered whether it might prove equally useful during peacetime. Drawing on the insights of his uncle Sigmund Freud, Bernays developed an approach he dubbed engineering of consent. He provided leaders the means to control and regiment the masses according to their will without the masses knowing about it. To do so, it was necessary to appeal not to the rational part of the mind, but to the unconscious.
I think we've all seen those little memes that they have now where you got 100 different media outlets saying the same exact thing.
Right.
They were being fed the same thing on the teleprompter. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like it's definitely happening on a large scale.
For sure.
I think the first time I became aware of propaganda was 1994 when I read Behold the Pale Horse. But now, I was aware of it, but when I really learned
how organized it is.
Yeah, when you know what I'm saying? Before that, I was kind of just, as a black person, just, that's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. We got our bullshit meter as black people. We just see shit on the news and we know it's bullshit. Anyway.
I think mine was the zeitgeist.
Not Kunle, Belay. I'm thinking of Kunle. One of my students, Kunle, came to the house and we were having a discussion. He said, propaganda don't work on me. Bobby, you're always saying we victims of propaganda. This was probably about 16 years ago, 18 years ago. Because my son, who's about to be 20, he was a baby. Said, you're always saying that, and I'm not controlled by no commercials and all that. So I showed him a documentary I had. And he's like, oh my God.
They control everything you do.
On propaganda. He said, oh my God. I said, let's look at what you have on.
Here you go.
And all the shit that they're talking about
is the easiest way.
He's like, well, that just totally changed.
Gotta have it, you know.
Right. What you ate today.
Well, we're telling ourselves, well, I buy it because this lasts better. This is better for my feet. I buy these shoes. Well, I didn't know
make you think you thought it.
I didn't know you're a podiatrist, so how you know it's better for your feet?
Right.
You were told that.
Listen.
You were told it's better for your feet. You were told this is better. When I used to run, there were certain shoes, they say, okay, you can get Nike, but you want to Saucony is what you want. You want to run like a professional. Of course, I got my Saucony shoes. And they felt good, yes. But you couldn't tell me these. So my friends asked me, why'd I get those? I'm breaking it down. All kinds of shit that I had read from a pamphlet I had from Saucony.
Mm-hmm.
Listen.
I'm breaking it. And so they like, man, well, I don't run, but I want to have the best shoes for my feet. So they buying Sauconys. Mm-hmm. Man, we're all victims of it. And sometimes we help to push the product ourselves.
We do. Hey, as revolutionary as I would like to believe I am right now, with these flat feet I got, you show me 2 sneakers. You say, look, these are equally comfortable. Here's a pair of Jordans. Here's a pair of Skechers. I'm going to happily accept the Jordan. If it wasn't a Jordan, if it was a Nike, because I'm going to put a Jordan because it's the black man's shoe. No, you see, if it was a Jordan or whatever.
Right, that's not a black man's shoe.
Right. I'm not putting on that Sketcher. I'm not. And why? Because society say the Sketcher ain't cool as these other shoes.
Well,
cool.
Funny, I didn't know nothing about the phones, right? So I had a stroke. My sister said, well, I'm going to get your phone and make sure you're able to stay in contact with us. And before that, I had an old flip phone. So my sister bought me a Samsung, the latest Samsung at the time. And I said, Samsung? Man, the mark make TVs. They don't know nothing about making no phone. And I'm just breaking on it. And my students all said, bye-bye. That's a top-of-the-line phone. And so now I got the top-of-the-line shit. It's still the same damn company that made them whack-ass TVs. Now, they've gotten better making their TVs. But back in the day, folks were like, man, I want a Sony. I want a Samsung. And maybe the TVs were already as good. But we were pushed to get Sony.
Yeah.
Standard Oil of New York. Sony, the Japanese make some great TVs. Sony not Japanese, by the way. Sony is an acronym, SONY, Standard Oil of New York. That Standard Oil owns Sony. It's not a Japanese company. They may have buildings in Japan.
You were today years old when you found that.
There's no Japanese word called Sony. But once again, propaganda got us thinking we got a Japanese shoe.
Dr. Ball, you correct too. I can't say you're correct. I believe as well that Behold the Pale Horse is propaganda itself. Pushed out. That's why he said to say that. I think
agent and believes in the protocols bullshit too. I think Pale Horses is self-propaganda. Boom! I was going to say that as B-Lay was talking about, and is in every black bookstore. Yes,
I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it still was the first bit of information, but yeah, later on I kind of thought about that and was like, yeah, I think but it gave me enough to put my antennas up. So
you see how propaganda works throughout it. B-Lay, you said, yeah, that must, but but you still throwing up some defense for them. That's how propaganda does is we can't just totally let go.
Well, that's good. That's white. That's that white propaganda where it's got some truth in it.
I mean, all of it. So right, exactly. Even when Jared does his critiques of films, me as a videophile, I love films, right? Movie file. When I first started seeing those, I'm like, man, I love Jared's stuff, but this some bullshit. Talking about so-and-so, you don't like no movie, this bullshit. And now I have to just stop and let me not be in my feelings, let me listen to what he's saying about these films. Now, some of them, I don't agree with some shit that's good. But Jared's recent analysis of
I ain't seen it yet.
Forever,
I ain't seen it yet.
It's incredible.
I ain't seen it yet, so let's just keep moving for somebody to say something in the chat. Listen, I will come to your house now. You put a spoiler in that chat.
Well, if they give you
go to the movie theater instead of going to people's house.
I tell you this, B-Lay, when you see it, call me after.
Yeah, I'm going to. I know I got to.
So,
and we all know.
And before Jared posted that, me and the wife were like, in our love for all of us who went to see it, of course, you say, well, what'd you think? Everybody said, what'd you think? And I said, oh, it was good. I'm going off of the videography, the cinematography.
That's what I wanted to say real quick.
I'm going off, that. It's good. Yeah, great for the cinematography, but shit, I can do a great cinematography, a film that is cinematography, blah, 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 that has good cinematography.
Right.
Okay. If I hire a great cinematographer,
right,
I can write about anything. What it means to
bullshit, but it could be cinematic.
What it means to boo boo. I got a stain on my shoe,
but it could be a cinematic marvel.
Right, but the right, like, man, you have to. We don't care about what it means to boo boo. We don't care that you got a scuff on your damn shoe, but you care about what it looks like. I make it good to you. I make it look good. And then all I got to do is throw in some black sayings.
I think that's
now people start to believe that this thing is a cultural. It's got cultural meaning, and it's something we should hold up as a beacon of our culture. So, call me up once you see it, and we'll talk about it. So me and the wife talked about it, in full. I won't go into what we talked about because you haven't seen it, but we were on the same page.
I think, of course, I think one of the things too about, I'm not going to include, when you on a certain level of, and you are creative, I think, but you're on a certain level. I don't know what level that is of consciousness though. I think, like, I watch movies and shows, and so a lot of times I might know it's some bullshit, but I'm watching it and I'm still enjoying it because I'm watching it for different reasons than somebody else. I see the bullshit that's in it, but I'm still enjoying it because of what I'm watching it for. And I think some shows, like, I wouldn't recommend to people that I might watch, but I might not recommend it to like the average public because, hey, there's some bullshit in this.
I'll say this to you, Philae. When you watch a film or a television show, I'm not saying enjoy it, but also after you watch it, think about what was the purpose of making that film.
Always.
It certainly was not for our enjoyment, our fun.
We got to realize what Hollywood is and what it's being used for. So I just mean, I definitely agree with that. I just feel like
call me too, laughing out loud.
And it's like, it's a reason that you want popcorn when you go to the movie theater. You know what I'm saying? That's not because you smell it. It's not even because of that. Like, they're making sure you want popcorn. You're getting messages to eat popcorn. You're getting subliminal. You're getting flashes, all type of stuff to make you want the popcorn and the Coke. So
cartoon with dancing popcorn.
Right. If they're doing that before the movie start, imagine what's in the movie. You know what I'm saying?
I know some people, they can't watch a movie at the theater unless they eat popcorn.
I smuggle my own popcorn in, but yeah. Okay, whatever.
So that's revolutionary. They ain't got no hold on you. There you go.
They ain't got me. Okay. All right, back to what we were talking about. All right. So Bernays acquired an impressive list of clients ranging from manufacturers such as General Electric, Procter & Gamble, and the American Tobacco Company. Well, you ruling the world. You got that. That's it. That's all you need. Media outlets like CBS, and even politicians such as Calvin Coolidge. To counteract President Coolidge's stiff image, Bernays organized pancake breakfasts and White House concerts with with Al Jolson and other Broadway performers. With Bernays' help, Coolidge won the 1924 elections. Bernays' publicity campaigns were the stuff of legends. To overcome sales resistance to cigarette smoking among women, this fool staged a demonstration at the 1929 Easter Parade, having fashionable young women flaunt their torches of freedom. He actually promoted Lucky Strikes by convincing women that the forest green hue on the cigarette pack was among the most fashionable colors. And I'm sorry, this just reminds me of how all of a sudden they package condiments, really small glass bottles. I just remember my baby mom be like, "This is so cute," and then she had all of them. I was like, "This is ridiculous."
Real quick, Coca-Cola. Well, so originally Santa Claus's uniform was green. Coca-Cola started making commercials with Santa Claus, and his uniform was red and white, and that pushed sales for Coca-Cola because their bottle. I mean,
wow. I know Pepsi is pissed. They like, we got Captain America, whatever. Okay, so the success of this effort was manifested. The success from that campaign was manifested in innumerable window displays and fashion shows. In the 1930s, he promoted cigarettes as both soothing to the throat and slimming to the waistline. But at home, Bernays was attempting to persuade his wife to kick the habit. Just like society, it's like Snoop talking about pimps and hoes and then being faithful to his wife.
Right. Beyonce, how they talk about Beyonce and the whole, independent women and all that. At the same time, she's married. She's got children. Man. Everyone else doesn't need that.
There you go.
Bernays used the same techniques on children. To convince children that bathing could be fun, he sponsored soap sculpture competitions and soap floating contests. These were designed to prove that ivory soap bars were more buoyant than competing projects.
Wow.
And so ivory soap went to the stratosphere. Bernays also used fear to sell products. For Dixie cups, Bernays launched a campaign to scare people into thinking that only disposable cups were sanitary. As part of this campaign, he founded the Committee for the Study and Promotion of the Sanitary Dispensing of Food and Drink. When I was young, they said if you have a sandwich that has mayonnaise on it, which means they were scaring the shit out of white folk. A lot of times we just had mustard on our job, but I had mayonnaise, It said if it's in a brown paper bag and it has mayonnaise, it can cause cancer. That destroyed children taking their lunch to school in brown paper bags. So now we started buying lunch boxes.
Wow.
That was all part of the propaganda percent. And they started doing lunchbox commercials. We buying lunch boxes and put Captain America on it, put the Hulk, put so and so, put not My Little Pony didn't exist, but put some princess on it to get the girls, all of that, man. Right. So, and people were afraid, like, oh my God, I want my child to get cancer. It was easy to carry your lunch in a little bag. That easily fit inside your book bag. It was lighter, but we carrying the lunch box. And then, you got to have the lunch box. I had to have the lunch box that had the sandwich container, plastic container. It had the drink container.
Right. You got a thermos. You ain't got your thermos with it?
Well, it's got a little drink container in it, that is a thermos, but mini. So that's in there. You got different things, little compartments in there, so you're comparing yours to other folks. You got to have the best one. I mean, it's crazy, man.
Right. Bernays' idea sold a lot more than cigarettes and Dixie cups. Even though Bernays saw the power of propaganda during war and used it to sell products during peacetime, he could not imagine that his writings on public relations could become a tool of the Third Reich. In the 1920s, Joseph Goebbels Goebbels, became an avid admirer of Bernays and his writings, despite the fact that Bernays was a Jew. When Goebbels became the minister of propaganda for the Third Reich, he sought to exploit Bernays' ideas to the fullest extent possible. For example, he created a Führer cult around Adolf Hitler. This observation led Supreme Court Justice Felix Frankfurter to warn President Franklin Roosevelt against allowing Bernays to play a leadership role in World War II, describing him and his colleagues as professional poisoners of the public mind, exploiters of foolish fanaticism and self-interest. Exploiters of foolishness, fanaticism, and self-interest.
You wouldn't want them on the team?
Mm-mm-mm.
I thought they'd have jumped on that. Anyway, so how can we resist?
They want him ruling.
Right. So how can we resist psyops if we don't even realize exactly how it's being used on and against us? We have to use thoughtful steps. Thoughtless steps lead to a path of happenstance, chaos, and destruction. How you think dictates your actions, and actions that are thought thorough create a greater potential for success. So breathe and stop.
So
Baba is advertising for the thermos.
Right. You want to think through what you do, right? You don't want to have thoughtless steps. We've mentioned that our actions are guided by our thoughts. Well, every action follows a specific process. This process of action is as follows. Every action is preceded by an impulse. Every impulse is preceded by a thought. Every thought is preceded by a perception. Okay, so that's perception, thought, impulse, action. Perception, thought, impulse, action. Okay, mm-hmm. So everything starts with perception. So if a potential attacker perceives you as being fearful, confused, and ill-fit to protect yourself, the thought of attacking you will enter their mind. That thought will grow into a strong impulse to attack, and the attacker will carry out the action of attacking. Okay, I teach this all the time in class. However, if their perception of you is that you are ready, willing, and able to put them in the hospital or the morgue, you will kill the thought in their mind of attacking you. And if you kill the thought, you kill the impulse. If you kill the impulse, the action never happens. Okay? Have you ever noticed that when you're single, it's hard to get any play? Then finally you find somebody, right, that you're happy with, they're happy with you, and all of a sudden you become the object of everybody's desire. You say, man, nobody was calling me. I got this person, now everybody calling me, right?
They call it a vibe.
Is that magic? How did it happen? Is it magic? Is it because you're wearing that new Bow Chicka Wow Wow cologne?
Wow.
Nope. It's the process of action at work. You find someone and you begin to feel better about yourself. So you walk with more pep in your step. You feel attractive, confident, and accomplished, and others perceive it. So you perceive yourself as being better. And so you begin to act. You perceive yourself as being more desirable. You begin to act more desirable because perception, thought, impulse, action, right? And then other people perceive you with more pep in your step, being more confident. Their perception of you changes, so their actions towards you also change. So carry yourself with confidence, competence, and courage, and you drastically lessen the likelihood of anyone trying to do you harm. Speak and move with thoughtful steps, and you resist mental and spiritual attacks that you are not even aware of. So the key is carry yourself in a way that people know you're not the one. You need to pick somebody else.
You're wrong.
And then, and train yourself, right? Which allows you to carry yourself more. And then Move with thoughtful steps to resist mental and spiritual attacks, because you're not going to be aware of them, right? Like propaganda. So you move with thoughtful steps, and now whatever the propaganda is, okay, the propaganda says this, but I slow myself down and I think through and use thoughtful steps. That's why it doesn't matter how emotional you get from what somebody says or does. Get emotional. Feel it. Damn, I want to do. And now slow yourself down and think and use thoughtful steps. Move in an appropriate way, because it may not be the enemy. It may just be a person that's fiery speaker or whatever, but it could be the enemy getting you to move a certain way. So stop and think first. Use thoughtful steps. I didn't say thoughtful, just be thoughtful. It requires you to do something. Use thoughtful steps, right? So that means your actions have to be thoughtful. They have to be. You can think about killing whoever. I want to knock this motherfucking cracker out. You can think that. Is that the wisest action?
Right. For right now.
Are you going to get some benefit from it other than knocking them out? Shit. But is it going to benefit you, your family, your people? So slow yourself down, use thoughtful steps.
And on that too, right before that, when he was talking about the steps that lead to action, how you have to be perceived a certain way before. When somebody do something to you, first they got to perceive you a certain way. Then you get the input. So that's when you situational awareness. That's another reason why training becomes important, because you'll pay attention to certain things that you may see when you out. And it's just like shining the light on somebody. You see somebody walking, they might start looking at him, he look like he might be. Then you look at him, let them know you saw him, and then they just put their head down and keep walking. That's what he mean by you killed that perception right there before it turned to an impulse. I'm gonna kill that perception. No, I see you over there. Okay. Yeah, I see everybody up in here. I see you. I see you walk by me just now. Be paying attention when you're out in public, man. This is very important. People be in public like they're in their house, like they're just in a bubble and they don't see nothing going on. Car just fly by on their phone. I was like, damn, don't be like that when you're out there, man. Things happen quick out there. So
how about?
There's some moments when I look back and reflect and realize I should just have taken the walk. I
must have walked there. Many of us. You're right, Big Till. I've been there too. Like, damn, I've been like that here on the show. I said before too. Have people that will give you honest critique, not criticism. One day we'll do a show different between criticism and critique. People use those words like they're interchangeable. They absolutely are not.
Okay.
But there have been times. I mean, one show, this sister was on there attacking the shit out of me. It was just me and Ominiki. Afterward, I said, Ominiki, was that too harsh? I shut her down. She said, well, Baba, you're you. And so, it was a nice way of saying, God damn, it was harsh, but you always are, which I disagree with, because
it was a normal harsh.
Let me say, I thought about this during when you were talking earlier. There's this quote from Sun Tzu, who's not African, but it's one of my favorite quotes, and it's the one that always reminds me of you. And that is, part of it is, the general must be severe. If he is not severe, then he cannot be righteous.
And that's what she said to me then,
Right. It's true.
So, hey, the general has to be severe, and he has to be balanced by being also, in my case, the lamb.
Right.
Which is more, I'm the lamb more than I am, anything else. So I think I'm going to change my name, or my middle name, to Lamb, because I fit it so well. Let me see. There are some moments. Hold on, I missed something that
brothers, I have to sign off.
Okay, well, you have a great weekend. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow.
Trustfully. Thank you, family. I appreciate it. Much love to everyone.
Much love.
Wonderful show.
Be safe out there. Another great one, yes.
All right.
There are some moments when I look back.
You have to pay Amaniki overtime after 3 o'clock, so we got to let her go, y'all. Sorry
Yeah,
about that.
exactly.
All right,
All right.
Amaniki,
Peace.
you have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your day.
I've done that with creepy guys, and it works. With using propaganda.
What are you talking about? Look at him.
Creepy guys suck. What using thoughtful steps? You know.
Right. Or just stare at him. You stare at the creepy guy. Like, I see you over there being creepy.
Or what you do, yeah, or you get as creepy as them.
Right. You walk straight up to him and you just start looking at him up and down like.
Right. And flicking your tongue out. And just looking at them. I guarantee you'll be safe. I guarantee you they'll leave you alone.
Ideas.
You know what I noticed? Really, a lot of times in looking at shit, oh boy, we do be creepy, man.
Oh, to men?
Yeah, when we're talking to sisters, you know, the women.
Women are way creepier than men.
Who?
Because women are way creepier than men.
I don't agree with that.
I agree. Listen, women get away. Women do stuff that men can't do. Strange women to talk to me and put their hands on my body. What are you doing? You can't touch me because you're talking? Well, how you just put your hand on my chest?
Okay, that's different. I'm talking like stuff they say. I was with this older brother.
Okay, yeah.
And we with a sister, you know, we're all in the same writing collective. And he says, man, I bet your toes, when you're sitting there, your toes just open like this. You spread your toes. I said, ugh, I said it. What's wrong with you? He thought that was being, you know, sexy or something. Just gross. So, man, we creeps. We're aggressively creepy. Sisters are different. Now, I did when I had my locks that wouldn't fall, and they would just go up to the sun. They were beautiful. I should have kept them. Now it's too late to get them again. I could get them to be a hole right there in the sun. But these sisters touched my hair. And I look back, hey, what y'all doing? I just had to touch it because your locks are so black. I've never seen them, and they're standing up. I said, okay, you know. I can't lie, you know. They were cute, so I ain't, you know, get you. But even if they weren't cute, I wouldn't have been mad. They women, so you're right. Women can get away with some things.
In professional settings, at workplaces and stuff, women do stuff that if men do, that's it. We can't touch you. We can't make those type of comments when we get ready to. You know what I'm saying?
But we like I said, we're more aggressive in our creepy.
Oh, we way more aggressive. I mean, we more aggressive what we say.
Stuff that's so outrageous.
Yeah, I can't even talk about what men say, because men say crazy stuff. But women just can touch you.
Creepy.
I just don't. I just
creepy.
I feel a way about
I never looked. I've never seen. Well, except maybe one or two times a creepy woman. One time I was you get shut down after this, but one time I'm at the library with the family. My daughter Yemi was in the stroller, so I'm up at the front getting a book. Sister walks up to me and she said, "Ooh." She got her hands between her legs. She said, "Ooh, I gotta pee. I said, "Well, shit, the bathroom right there. You better go ahead before you piss on yourself." And she looking like she looked shocked, like I was supposed to go with her or something. So she goes in the bathroom and and I said something I can't remember, you know, being funny. The librarian said, "Thank you so much for that," because she walks up to me and some of those guys, you know, they follow to the bathroom. We have to put them both out.
Mm.
So they both creeps. She was creepy as hell for coming up, but a woman like that comes up to you and you go with her, you're a creep. Yeah, you're a creep. I was the other time I was on the bus and this woman was barking like a dog. Obviously, that's some kind of issues. So I wouldn't say that's creepy, maybe scary. But what was creepy, this dude, he like, man, she pretty though. I'm a holler. And so he got off the bus with her and left. That's creepy enough, but saw him later and he was talking about, so a couple of us, we rode the bus every day. I was riding the bus to school.
Actual barking.
Dude asked him, "Did you get with old girl?" He said, "Oh yeah, you know, she was barking. So I got down and barked with her too." Where the shit?
Listen, we can stop. I'm just gonna say, when I moved to Atlanta, I've seen aggression from women like I've never seen before. I'm talking about 60, 70-year-old Asian women at stoplights trying to flag me. I'm like, what What do you think I'm about to do?
That's not creepy. That's not creepy.
About to do? That's creepy as shit. I'm 24 years old. You 67. She like doing like this.
If you're gone with it, you've been driving that car. See,
hey, I'll never be driving that car.
You messed up.
I remember the first time I went through Spelman.
And actually, as you get older, when you 70-year-old woman comes up and calling you in the car, you ain't gonna think it's creepy.
Yeah, because I'm 70. I ain't you ain't a pedophile after that point.
You ain't a pedophile because you a grown man.
I'm 24. My brain, my whole frontal lobe ain't even developed yet.
She could be 387 years old. You're 24. You're a grown man.
My frontal lobe is not developed fully until I'm 25.
Once you got with her, that motherfucker would have developed. You open that mug up.
You know what? We're gonna end this. We're gonna end.
Your frontal lobe would have been thriving. All right, y'all.
I remember walking through Spelman the first time, and women, I felt like I was in prison. I felt like I was in prison walking through the prison yard. I felt like a woman walking through prison yard when I went to Spelman the first time.
You messing up, dude.
They were hollering all through like they was
wait, hold on. Big Chill, no. Belay is not 24. This wasn't recently.
No.
Belay on the other side getting towards that big 50.
That was 40. That was 28 years ago.
So Belay not 24. I'm sure he wished to hear this too, Belay. I can't tell you how many times I let a woman harass me. I didn't do anything about it. Like, as a man, I was supposed to let it slide. Okay, I'm sorry to laugh to hear.
No, because for real.
I've had so many women harass me and I didn't do nothing about it. I did something about it. I didn't stop her.
He joking. I'm serious, man.
I shouldn't laugh at that because I've been the victim of certain things. But
thank you, Franny Finch. And
I've had older women come at me. In fact, I've had somebody who, one of the owners of BPM, introduced these two older women to me. I think I was like 42 then, and he introduced these women who about 60, in their late 60s, early 70s. And it was so funny to me, the way he did it and then walked off. So I'm talking to him and I keep bringing up my wife, and they just deflecting that and just flirting and shit. And I am cracking up at what they're saying. I wasn't intimidated by them because I know I ain't gonna be doing that. If they get with me, I better broke their hip. So I can't be, they want me, but it was just funny the way they were doing. And the person that you're guessing from BPM who set me up, one of the owners, you know exactly who it was.
You damn
Everybody out here knows who it was.
Come on, man.
And I got to get him back with that
one. Thank you, Big Chill. Thank you. I use a lot of shea butter.
Those ladies were determined. They said, hell, we don't care you married. We don't get nothing about that shit. Go ahead on. And they kept on. Let me see. Belay, you were in Shangri-La. He thought he was.
I don't know what I thought he was. I came down. I realized I was just in my
stairs. Yes, to hear it was Kalonji, of course.
Okay, yeah. You may have believed I was in my late 20s through the camera. If you think that you see me in person, you questionable. That's propaganda.
If you watch them after class,
yeah. If you see me in person and say that after class, I'm gonna think that's propaganda you spread to me. But thank you very much. Thank you very much. Shea butter.
All right, family.
Y'all be safe, man.
Y'all be safe. Love y'all. Stay black, whatever it is that you may be. Watch your ass out here and use thoughtful steps.
Oh, okay.
Peace. Belay's wearing the Bernays sauce. What? The Atlanta shirt.
Thank you very much.
He telling you to come on down.
Oh, that's the Bernays sauce. Yeah. Hey man, I'm gonna put the link to the clothes I'll be wearing. I wear only one of my homie clothes. That's all these shirts y'all like and stuff. This is my homeboy.
Yeah. He's dope.
Very dope individual.
All right, y'all.
Wait till you pay me before I put it in the link though. So anyway, next time.
Peace, family.
I'm kidding. I don't know the link. I don't really know the link.
You ain't got his link?
I do not have his link. I can put.
Oh no. Well, add him on social media.
You know what? I did put him on here. I did send him the link. So if he down there, you should be listening.
I've seen him on the show before. So
okay. Appreciate you. Obscene Question is his name on IG. Y'all find him.
All right, peace.
Peace. Be safe. Share the home.